Hi guys, it's Taylor and I'm here for Friday and I'm not that excited today, so I apologize. I'm really tired. I took a bunch of allergy medicine like as soon as I woke up because I was miserable because I'm sick, so I'm a little drowsy, so that's why I'm kind of not as as you guys probably already know, it is story time week here on the Real Deals. And I actually had a lot of trouble trying to find something to tell a story about because I do have a lot of stories, but whenever I'm told to like pick one, I just go completely blank. So let's go. See, the thing about the story is this person that it is about, I have kind of an on and off relationship with this person. We will be friends for like a few months and then something will happen and then we will not be friends, which is probably not a very good sign of friendship. So I figured that it'd be okay to talk about this, and if they have a problem with it, then I don't fucking care. This story is going to be kind of out of order. So the main girl in this story, I'm just going to call her Rebecca. Whenever I was a freshman in high school, me and my boyfriend broke up, and he dated Rebecca in that month that we were not together. I didn't like her at that point in time, but as everyone who's young and doesn't like someone does, I added her on Facebook. Summer of my freshman year, she actually messaged me and told me that she wanted to be friends with me. And at this point, me and my boyfriend had gotten back together. I didn't really have a problem with her anymore. And I was like, yeah, sure, we can be friends. Second semester of my sophomore year, we finally decided to meet up. I stayed at her house. It was fine. I actually got sick at her house the first day I met her, and it was kind of embarrassing, so I had to go home early the next morning because I was throwing up. But that's besides the point. After I had hung out with her and actually met her in person, Madeline started becoming friends with her too. Over the summer, she came over to my house and she stayed the night one time, and then, I had fun, so I was like, oh yeah, come over this next week too. So she comes over the next week. She spends the night at my house, and that night, she's like, well, my friend wants to hang out with us at the mall, so can we go? So we went the next day. Long story short, she stole some of my stuff, and I knew as soon as I got home from the mall that next day that it was gone because it was one of my favorite articles of clothing, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I tore my room apart. I still, to this day, have not been able to find it because I know she took it. So I texted her that night and I was like, hey, did you pick this up by accident? It looks like this. And she was like, no, I haven't seen it, I'm sorry. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So then I tore through my room again. I had never even worn this piece of clothing outside of my house before because I got it for back to school clothes. So it had never left my room. So there's not very many places that it could have been. So I texted her again. I was like, hey, can you check again for me? I'm not trying to accuse you of anything. She told me that she didn't have it. School started a few days after that, and I asked someone who went to her school if she was wearing said article of clothing, and she was. Blah, 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 blah. So I was like, bye, we're not going to be friends anymore. So now we're in my junior year, and this is the first half. We did not talk at all. I really did not like her because I don't like being stolen from and I don't like being lied to. So I just didn't bother with it. December of my junior year, she followed me on Instagram where she had me blocked before. And I was like, okay. So she reposted one of my pictures and put me as her Woman Crush Wednesday or whatever you want to call it. I was like, well, this is kind of weird. You hate me. So we were messaging and she was like, yeah, I think we should talk. I think things left off pretty bad and I just wanted to apologize. And I was like, okay, cool. So there's this youth group near my town called Ground Zero, and it's basically like a trendy spot for Christian kids to hang out and, praise the Lord. So she told me to meet up with her there and we could talk about everything. So I go, and I didn't bring Madeline with me at this point because Madeline didn't like her because of all the things that had happened with me and her before. So she and I sat at this table and she apologized for everything and said, yeah, I shouldn't have done that to you, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, cool. This blossomed into a cute little Three Musketeer friendship between me, Rebecca, and Madeline. And we went to Ground Zero every single Wednesday. We all always talked to each other. We took pictures together until Madeline started trying to get Rebecca to hang out with her without me. March, February of my junior year. And Madeline was planning her birthday party. She invited a lot of people and they were actually going out to dinner and then to this place around here where you could play laser tag and mini golf. So it was kind of a big deal. Like, there was a lot of planning that had went into this birthday party. So we had told Rebecca ahead of time that this party was going to be this date, you know, you should go, blah, 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 blah. So after a few weeks of planning this birthday party, it was the week of. So it was like the Monday before the Saturday that her birthday party was supposed to be on. I had strep throat, so I wasn't at school for a few days, and then Rebecca texts Madeline and I and is like, hey, I have strep throat, you know, I'm sick, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to your birthday party. I might have to get my tonsils removed. I don't know yet. And so, of course, we believed her because I had strep throat as well, and we had been hanging out at least once a week, so it was like, you know, she doesn't even know I have strep, so she's probably telling the truth. So we didn't really think twice about it. And then comes the day of the birthday party. Rebecca is like, hey, you know, I have my tonsil surgery the day before and I can't really do anything the next day, so I'm gonna have to not go. We were like, okay, cool, whatever, that's fine, you know, I completely understand. So we get through this birthday party. Originally, it was gonna be Madeline, Rebecca, and I staying over at Madeline's after the party. So obviously it was just Madeline and I. Madeline is looking through Instagram and finds a picture on someone who lives around here's page of Rebecca and her from that day, saying that they had hung out all day and she had a blast and all this shit. So we were like, what? And it probably seems kind of silly to get mad about something like that, but it was just the fact that she had blown Madeline off so many times, and she was really upset because she looked forward to her being at her birthday party, and she just felt like she was very lied to. I screenshotted all of it because Madeline's phone couldn't, because she had a really old phone, and I sent them to Madeline, and then she sent them all to Rebecca, and I was like, savage. Immediately, Rebecca is trying to defend herself, saying, no, I only saw her for a few minutes, you know, we didn't hang out all day, like the post said, blah, 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 blah. And we were like, okay. Without us even asking, she's like, I can send you pictures to prove it. I can send you pictures of my tonsils and the doctor paperwork saying that I needed surgery. And I was like, that's not necessary, but, you know, go ahead. So she sends us these pictures of swollen tonsils. And I was like, you know, it would be really funny. So Madeline's flat screen TV hangs up on her wall and it's connected to the computer. So I type in swollen tonsils on Google and it's the first picture that shows up. And I was like, are you fucking serious? So I took Madeline's phone and the picture and I put it next to the TV and the Google search and I took a picture of it and I sent it to her and I was like, LOL. So she's immediately like, oh, I don't know how that got there, blah, 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 blah. How the fuck you think I'm gonna believe this? So I just didn't reply anymore. And then she's like, I'll send you the paperwork to prove it. I am a Google mastermind, in case you did not know. I know how to find whatever I want to find on Google. She sends us a picture of these doctor's papers spread out on the floor, and then one that's like a prescription. And I typed in the keywords, like I zoomed in on the papers and I typed in the words that were on them. It popped up immediately. Neat. And then the prescription was actually from like 1975. So there's no way that that was fucking valid anymore. So at this point, I'm not replying. I'm just like special agent searching the web trying to fucking find out these pictures. But Madeline is like typing paragraphs on paragraphs on paragraphs, and she was really, really pissed. So after that, I decided, you know, I'm not dealing with it anymore. A few days goes by and, you know, they stopped talking to each other, but Madeline was still pretty pissed. And then people on Instagram started asking what happened to the friendship. We're just going to assume that posts were being posted and words were being said, so people wanted to know. Madeline decides that she's going to post this super long thing on Instagram. It was kind of mean. The collage was like her Tumblr bio saying, "Make me famous," and then like pictures of her crying and a bunch of other random shit. And then basically in the little caption thing on Instagram, I'm just going to sum it up what it said because I honestly don't remember because it was a long time ago. The gist of it was,
"We're not friends anymore because she's a liar, she lied to me, she faked a surgery and then tried to defend herself about it by saying that these pictures were of her, of swollen tonsils, and then they weren't, they were on Google, and then something about her only wanting to be friends with me because of my followers, my fan base and stuff, because she always asked me for shoutouts. Basically I said that she was lying to her constantly."
And it was like a good 2 to 3 paragraphs. So almost immediately, everyone was at each other's throats. I did not respond. I knew better. I knew that it would come back somehow because that's just the type of person that Rebecca is. She was going to take it to the principal or the police or some shit. So, no thanks. Maybe 3 weeks later, I'm sitting in English just chilling, watching Of Mice and Men, you know, because we had just read the book. I really liked that book and I was stoked about watching the movie. First period, and I hear over the little intercom, "Taylor Wilkins, report to Mr. Page's office." And then immediately everyone looks at me and is like, "Oh shit, what did she do? Oh no, Mr. Page's office," because he's the disciplinary principal, the vice principal. So if you got sent to Mr. Page's office, you knew you were fucked and you did something bad. I get up and I'm like, what the fuck did I do? And then apparently I looked super pissed. So I go down there and they're like, "Mr. Page will see you." And I was like, okay, great. You're gonna tell me what I did? Because I don't fucking know. So then after this point, I texted Madeline, like as I was leaving, like in the hallway, you know, because you're not allowed to have your phone in high school, but I was doing it anyway. I was like, "Yo, I just got sent to Mr. Page's office. They're asking about the whole Rebecca thing." And all they did was tell her to delete it, but it had already been deleted, so there was literally nothing to fucking do about it. And so I was really fucking irritated because, you know, it's not like anything Madeline was saying in her post was a lie. It's just, whew. So fast forward a few weeks, Rebecca posts a video on Facebook saying that we were harassing and cyberbullying her and that we told her to kill herself, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? Is this a joke? Cool. Neat. It was super fun, and a lot of her friends started attacking me, saying that I was a terrible person and that I shouldn't tell people to kill themselves when I didn't do it. I didn't tell anyone to kill themselves. I've never told anyone to kill themselves in my life. It's never happened. I didn't do anything. So, yeah, I almost got the cops called on me, so that was fun. And then a few months later, Madeline apologized and decided that they should be friends again. And I was like, I'm not fucking dealing with this anymore. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this super long-ass dumb story about how I got sent to the principal's office and this toxic fucking friendship that I had during high school. There's a lot more that I didn't feel like putting because I wanted to spare the feelings of people because, yeah. Alright. Goodbye, guys. I hope you have a good day. I love you very much. Make sure you like and subscribe to The Real Deals. Bye!